guys, I was able to get my iPad going as a means of recording this video. I'm hoping that the content will be fine and I'll just be able to post this on Sunday like usual, but I guess you may only be seeing this on Monday, in which case it's because the iPad formatting was wonky with YouTube. Since the primary content for this week's video was actually covered in the podcast, I only am going to be talking about two things in this video. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is the quiz. And the second thing that I'm going to talk about was several questions about the things to think about questions from this week's discussion forum. So from here on out, I'm going to go over the questions on the quiz. Now, before you took the quiz, it would have been a really good idea to either print out or save to your computer both the syllabus and the schedule for easy reference. The other thing that it would have been really good to do was just to give a careful once-over of the entire syllabus and all of the schedule. So read it once. Don't skim it. Don't just flip through and look at the headings, but actually really read it. Now, obviously, I can't do that right here on the video because nobody wants to watch me do that. So I'm just going to go through the quiz with the relevant sections here. Now, the first question was about the due date for the reflection question or activity. Now, a natural place to look for that, if you were looking, is to go to the course requirements section and the section on participation. So that says, each week, beginning on a Monday, unless otherwise noted, will be devoted to the discussion of a particular topic. At the beginning of the week's blog lecture, I will post a reflection question or activity that must be completed by Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So they have to be completed before Thursday. Now, that seems pretty straightforward. The second question is also in this section as well. And that's a true-false question. And the question was whether or not you're required to respond to the questions to think about that are included in the lecture and then recapped at the end. And as it says on the syllabus, however, you are not required to respond to each or even any of the questions to think about from the written lectures. Rather, these are intended as tools for learning that you may are encouraged to take advantage of. There were some questions about this in this week's discussion forum, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about this in a few minutes. But I just want to flag it for right now and say that no, you don't actually have to be responding to those questions. The third question was something that students struggled with a little bit, and in looking over it, I can sort of see how it was slightly confusing. So the third question was the theories assignment due date. So if you pull out your schedule, you'll see in the assignments little block column here that the third assignment is the theories assignment. So it is on the bottom of this page right here. Now at the top, it points out that assignments are due by the start of the following week unless otherwise noted. So they're due by the beginning of the next week. Okay, so let's turn the page. All right. See. Next week is the week of July 2nd. So they're due by the beginning of the next week. Now, what people got a little confused at was that most students answered that the assignment was due July 2nd at 11:59 p.m. And the only problem with that answer is that 11:59 p.m. is not at the beginning of the week. So the correct answer is actually just that the assignments are due literally before the beginning of the next week. And so that means that they're due Sunday nights. They're due Sunday by 11:59 p.m. The fourth question is a question about what formats your assignments must be submitted in. So for that, we're going to go back to the syllabus and flip through to the section on course policies. Now, there's actually a whole block of assignment policies. And the first little blurb under assignment policies says that detailed assignment descriptions will be available in our D2L course space. And then in italics, it says, Assignments must be submitted as PDF files to the D2L Dropbox. So pretty straightforward. I just want all of your files in PDF. If you have problems creating a PDF file, feel free to send me an email and I'm happy to walk you through the process. It's pretty simple. Now, the final question on the quiz was about my late policy. So suppose you realize that you're not going to be able to complete an assignment on time. What should you do? Well, if you flip over actually right below the statement about my the PDF policy, you'll see a little blurb about late assignments. Now, each student begins the semester with a bank of 4 days for late assignments. This includes all biweekly assignments, quizzies and shorties, the midterm, and the final activism project. This does not apply to participation. Now, the story on this is just that I realize that sometimes life gets crazy. Your children become ill, you have a project due at work, you're on deadline, and sometimes it means that you're not able to submit the assignments on time. And for the most part, every once in a while, I think that's fine. Rather than adjudicate this on a case-by-case basis, I just decided to give everyone a bank of late days that they could use at their discretion. And if you need to take advantage of the bank, that's fine. You don't need to email me. You don't really need to let me know what's up. I trust you to make good decisions regarding this. Having said that, once your bank is used up, if you need to submit an assignment late again, then I am less flexible, and I typically do deduct points. Please don't let that deter you from turning an assignment in at all. I only deduct 10% per day, except in extremely extenuating circumstances. And so you can still get quite a bit of credit on your late assignments, even if your bank is used up. So given that I do deduct points after your late bank is up, you have a pretty strong incentive to use your bank wisely. It would be a really bad idea for you to use your bank on a short assignment when you didn't really need it, and then have something happen at the end of the semester with your final project. So please use your bank wisely. It's a good idea not to have to use it at all. And if you're having general problems meeting your obligations, please just contact me and we can talk about what options that you have. And I think that's it for the quiz. And if you guys have any more questions about that, then please let me know. The other thing that I wanted to talk about in this video was the questions to think about. This week we had some confusion in the discussion forum about whether or not they were required. I think a few students started answering questions. Other students saw they were answering the questions and thought, oh no, I'm missing out on an important requirement. The story on the questions to think about is that I am serious that as long as you respond to the reflection question activity and you respond to your peers, you will receive full participation points. This week was a little odd because I wanted us to have the meet and greet discussion forum. Given that it's an online class, I think it's a really good idea for students to feel like they know each other as much as possible. So I do take the meet and greet forum fairly seriously. I want us to actually meet and greet each other. So what are the questions to think about? And in the syllabus, I describe them as tools for learning. And that's really the way that I think about them. They're very literally described as questions to think about. I really just intend them to direct your attention to certain aspects of the discussion. Now, I really do want you to think about them, but some people are extroverts and they like to think things through together. And if you're like that, then I strongly encourage you to talk about those questions on the discussion forum. But other people are more introverted, and as they're thinking things through, they like a little bit more privacy and space. And I like to be sensitive to the fact that people have different learning styles, while also recognizing that in an online class, there has to be some discussion happening in order for us to be learning together. So the reflection question activity is intended to get the discussion going and sort of guide the discussion in a certain way. And the questions to think about are questions that I sort of take to be tools for individual learning, in the sense that we all may respond to them in different ways. Some people may want to talk about them on the forums together, and other people may want to sort of think about them in a little more private way. So that's the story on the questions to think about, is that they really are just very literally questions to think about. However, you are required to respond to the reflection question activity, and to respond to your peers' postings of that. Anyway, I hope that makes things a little bit more clear, and I think it'll be clearer in future weeks when we have all of these pieces in play, as opposed to the sort of meet and greet forum going on at the same time. As always, you can ask me questions about things that are going on at any point, and please feel free to do so. I don't think they're stupid questions or anything like that. So at any rate, I appreciate you guys listening to the video, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks.